platform exists to equip entrepreneurs with basic skills and knowledge that is required to do profitable business within Nigerian environment without cutting corners. Because cutting corners has become, the order of the day, and ensuring sustainability, growth, and succession. At least a business that is well run will grow, and then succession will be easy. It will grow and it will be sustainable, and people will trust the business. And so you are handing down to your another generation something that could work. So our vision really is to raise entrepreneurs of impeccable integrity, impeccable character, people who imbibe character into their business. And our mission is to create a business culture built on trust that transforms our communities positively. And then our core value, it's integrity, trust, and legacy. Today, we are going to be discussing on some topics. Really, what is ethical entrepreneurship? What exactly are we talking about when we say entrepreneur should handle their business ethically? Where are we going and what are we getting at? What we are saying is entrepreneurship is not just about starting a business and aiming for profit just like that. It is about who you are. Who exactly are you? It will come to bear on your business. What your values are and on what foundation you build it, all this will affect the growth or otherwise of the business. Whatever you do with the business, the ethics that you practice in the business, the value that you give out to people will grow, and it will ensure that the business remains even after you. Today, many businesses exist, but they are not thriving. They're just there. They are not thriving. And they are relying heavily on their owners. The owners go, the business goes. In fact, many of them, before the owner goes, the business goes even before the owner. They just existing. They are not thriving. So there is no way that such a business will not die because of issues of trust and sincerity and integrity. This discourages patrons of the business from recommending the business and from coming back. Ethical entrepreneurship is a bridge between unhealthy profit chase and integrity. What is unhealthy profit chase? Just wanting to make money anyhow. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it is crooked, whether some people cry after you have done business with them. It doesn't matter. That's an unethical way of doing business. And when we do business, we should aim at making people happy, not cause them to cry at the end of the day. So in telling us what ethical business or ethical entrepreneurship is really, ethical entrepreneur is the practice of building and running a business based on values, integrity and responsibility. It means your decisions are not guided by profit alone. You are looking at some other things. It's not about profit. They are guided by principles. A typical entrepreneur asks, how much will I make? That's a typical entrepreneur. And even the Gen Z, they will tell you, what's in it for me? That's it. Otherwise, they're not willing to do it. And when we are in business, we should have humanity in our hearts. What do we want people to gain from us? Not all that we can gain from them all the time. A typical entrepreneur asks how much I will make, and an ethical entrepreneur think about, is it right? Is this right? And is it sustainable? Will this grow the business? This is what ethical entrepreneur, this is what he will think about. Profit can build a business, but only integrity can sustain it. Ethical entrepreneurship entails honesty with customers, fairness to employees, transparency in operation, responsibility to the society. All these come to play when you want to do your business ethically. And some people will ask, what are they talking about? Why ethical entrepreneurship? Why should we be ethical? Why does it matter? Okay, we are in a time where customers are more aware and they know their rights. If you mess them up, they're gonna come back big time and mess you up too. Information spreads fast, especially the bad ones. The word of the mouth goes a long way, better than even your advert or marketing. The word of mouth, that was what we thrived on. There wasn't so much of social media and all of that, but we thrived because people go about telling others about the good things that we have done, why they come to us and when they patronize us. Trust is very, very fragile. Once trust is betrayed, rebuilding it could cost more than you can ever imagine. Rebuilding trust is very expensive. So don't break it. Don't let people feel cheated. And I'm going to tell you a little story, and I'm sure if you go online, there is no hiding. If you go online, you can find this story. It is the story of Dave Carroll. He has his guitar was worth $3,500. If you ask me, that's a lot of money for a guitar. That means he's using it as a professional, musician. He now took United Airline at a point when he was going to between Chicago and his final destination. He was lucky enough to sit by the window and he saw the baggage handlers throwing things, and he saw them actually throw his guitar, and he called the attention of one of the air hostesses that, see, my guitar is being mishandled, it could be broken. And the air hostess just took a look at him and took off, never cared. But lo and behold, when they got to their destination and he collected his guitar, it was actually broken. So the musician went to the desk and wanted to see, who can I see? My guitar is already broken. Can you please fix it? Nobody minded. He went to this, went to that, went everywhere, and nobody cared to talk to him or mend his guitar, or even they were not even sympathetic. So this man told them, I'm going to mess you up if you don't sort out my guitar. And they said he could go to hell. And the man went on YouTube. He's a musician, so very easy for him. He made the music, and the thing he went viral, gathered millions of viewers. And the topic of the music was United Airline breaks guitars. You can imagine a whole United Airline breaks guitars. That's what they do. They are not they are not carrying people alone, but they break their guitars. So this thing went viral, and the United Airline lost a lot of money in earning. Even their shares went down. The cost of their share went down over this. They lost in millions over that single issue, which could have been sorted immediately. And the man goes his way. Everybody is happy. Everybody go their own way. But instead of doing that, they were careless. They were not empathetic. They were not sympathetic. They were not ready to do anything, and they didn't know. So they could get away with some of it, but you never can tell when you are going to get in trouble with customers. So the best thing for you to do is to be empathetic and sympathetic and relate with your customer and render help, whatever kind of help that you can render, just to forestall, further troubles and a mess up in the company. So that's about that. And if you look at that story, you will see that one wrong move can damage a brand. Just one wrong move, it can damage a brand, and rebuilding can be something hectic. At the end of the day, they bought another guitar for this man. They took him to dinner at with all the officials present, and he had to I guess he had to sing another song and all of it. But I tell you, if you go online till today, the one he sang to say that they break guitars is still there. Internet does not forget. So one has to be ready and to do what is right at all time as ethical practice in your business. But one consistent ethical standard can build a legacy. It can build a business that could go in generations of successions, and it won't die because it was built on solid foundation of truth and ethical practices. And whoever inherits, we know that the history of the company will tell that this is the reason they succeeded. Therefore, I can do nothing else but to improve on practicing what is right. Many businesses fail not because they lack ideas, but because they fail to build bridges to welcome the complaints of their customers. Instead, they break bridges, and customers know their way to other places, and they know how to use their mouths to make sure that you are thoroughly dealt with. So in today's business, building customers' trust is more valuable than just marketing. Yeah, you can market. You can spend a lot of money on marketing. Imagine United Airlines. They spend a lot of money on marketing. But look at just one incident became a pain to them. Even up until today, people are still talking about it. So because when people trust you, they come back. They buy from you and they come back to you. They keep coming back. They refer others. That's the advantage of doing your business ethically. They defend your brand, wherever they are. And, anything negative is being said about your brand. They stand like the brand ambassador, and they talk and they say good things about the product and neutralize whatever anybody is saying there. And that you can buy with money. That you can buy with marketing. Word of mouth goes a long way. So when you look at, and in doing business ethically, in being an entrepreneur who has embedded ethical practices into their business, there is a tension kind of between profit versus principle. It has to be embedded. You have to stand your ground. Otherwise, it's very, very easy to go the other side. So the tension is between making money and doing what is right. You see that some people are just right beside you and they're making a lot of money. They just said one article, and then there was one time I wanted to go and buy a particular brand of inverter, and I had asked for price at a particular market, and they gave me fantastic price, cheaper, much cheaper than the owners of the brand itself. So I found out where the office of the manufacturer was. And when I got there, theirs was more expensive. And I was like, how can your own be more expensive than even the resellers? And they made me understand that there are sharp practices going on, that they will buy 10 from them and manufacture 100, imitations. So all these things, they do not allow entrepreneurs to thrive. They do not, these practices cannot take you to the place where you aim at. Because everybody, when you come into business, you aim at going higher, making profit, and not making profits like illegally. Like you want to sell one thing that you should make 50,000 from, 20,000 from, and you want to make 300, 500,000 from just one article, and somebody buys and go and cry. Of course, crying goes a long way in ensuring that nobody comes to you at the end of the day, because the word of their mouth is going to mess you up. Then they mislead customers. Like when we were selling phones, I had a staff who would it was in the days of Bluetooth, infrared, this, that, and they will ask, does it have Bluetooth? Does it have infrared? You say yes. Does it have this? Yes. Does it have that? Yes. And they buy and they go and they come back and they say, this thing does not have infrared now. Okay, there is Bluetooth, but where is infrared? You say, oh, that was one of our outlets there. You will say, oh, go to the head office. They will fix it for you. There's infrared there. And when they bring it, we know she has done it again. We have to appeal to them, or we give them what they require. And, that's costly for us, because whatever is opened, whatever has been loaded up becomes a second hand. We can't sell it as new again. So even in a little way like that, it becomes a burden. So it's better that we don't mislead our customers, because next time when they come, they won't trust you. And exploiting workers in unethical practices, because when the Bible says a worker is worthy of his wages, pay them and don't say there is no money. And then you are busy buying new cars, spending the money lavishly. That is very unethical, because their sweat will cry against the business, and that itself can kill the business. I've met a man who told me, do you earn salary from your business? And I say, yeah, sometimes. Say no, make it standard. Earn salary from your business, because a business that does not pay you will not prosper. It should pay you. The business should pay you your salary. So, these are the things that are very germane, and they are very important that we do, that our business may be sustainable. Our business may live long. But I've been in just one type of business for up to like 25 years now. And we are still thriving, we are still surviving by the grace of God, because when people want it right and they want the original, they come to us, because they know we aren't going to do sharp practices. We aren't going to sell fairly used as new. It may work, what a sharp practices may work for a short time, but it destroys long-term values. It destroys sustainability. It destroys succession. You discover that a business cannot go on, because people will not patronize the person who has lied to them in the first place. So an ethical entrepreneur think differently. They play the long-term game. They want to be sure that this business will be here for a long time. This business, I want to maintain it to the extent that I can hand this business over to another generation, whether your children or some other people that are working with you, you can hand it over to them. That is if you do it right. If you don't do it right, it will die even while you are alive. So it's very important that everybody play a long-term game. And what's a long-term game? A long-term game is doing it right. Let people get something trustworthy from you, and then you have earned their trust, and forever they'll be saying something positive about your company. So shortcuts may give you speed, but they will cost you sustainability. People do sharp, and then it costs them their company, it costs them their name, even their very own name, it costs them their name. The question is not just, can I make money from this, but can this also stand the test of time? This thing that I'm doing, will people discover at the end of the day, and will they be angry with me or with the company? Would they say something good? Would they say something that would ensure that the business stays alive? It's very important that we know that you can't cheat and get away with it. Somehow, some way, you will pay for it. So the core values of a good and ethical, entrepreneur is that every ethical entrepreneur must build on core values. They must have, a character in them. They must have made a decision as they go into that business. Because when I was going to the business that I do presently, I had a discussion with God, should I go into this business? So if I go into this business, so what could happen that could make me, um, go the other way and begin to do things the way I have not fashioned out for the business. I thought about everything and I knew, no, I know I can't miss it. I will do it the way that God has agreed with me. And He says to me that whenever you are in doubt, let it go. Let the other person take it. Even if they call you a fool, it's better to be a fool than to offend your maker that has given you power in your hands to make wealth. So integrity is doing what is right even when no one is watching. What I normally say is that who you are really is who you actually are is who you are when no one is watching. Because if you are watching, you're somebody else. We all go somewhere and we are, too behaving well and everything. But when you are alone, what is your thought pattern like? What is your life like? That's what God sees. Are you sincere when you're alone? And there is the place of transparency. Being open and honest in dealings goes a long way. It's not about your customers alone. What about your supply? If you are honest, maybe you don't have the money to pay yet. You don't stop picking their calls. When they call you, pick it up and tell them I have a little bit of challenge. By so time, I'm sure I'll be able to pay. That goes a long way in making them feel at ease. But when you stop picking their calls, it's like, oh, this one has run away with our money. But when you keep picking their calls, it gives them some level of confidence and they trust you. And so when there is scarcity and they have a product that you can make profit from, it's you that is trustworthy that they will give that product to. So, and then fairness, you have to treat customers and clients with some level of respect, with empathy, and with equity. Empathize first and foremost. Even if somebody has bought something that requires that has only 1 year warranty on it, and they bring it back after 2 years, the next thing you say is not, no, 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 this one does not have guarantee. You just look at it. Oh, what happened? Did it drop? Did anything happen? Was it water? Was it this? You talk to them like you really want to give a solution if you can. When you have done all of that, ask questions, and you have done everything like that, the next thing that you do is let them know that this thing has only 1 year warranty. If you want to take it to the service center, this is where the service center is. They're going to charge you some certain amount of money for replacement. But then it's better you do it with them. Or if you want to use the engineers around, you can do that. This is what you do. And then the customer will come back again and again because of that sympathy, empathy, and everything that you give to them. Then accountability, taking responsibility for actions and decisions. When you are wrong, maybe between you and customer or between you and what do you call it, your suppliers, don't shift blames. Take responsibility for your actions and then be responsible to some people. You can't just be master of it all. Nobody can check you, no check and balance, nothing. If you say, accountant, give me this much amount, and he says, what was that for? You begin to ask him, is it your money? No, tell the accountant what that money is meant for. Oh, it's to repair this and to do that. Or it's an IOU, which I will return. And the accountant will be at peace. Every worker will be at peace. They won't see a CEO who is going to soon spend all the money and throw them into the job market. So accountability is very important. And your business will never rise above your values. If your values are weak, naturally your business will equally be weak. So your business needs to be strengthened by the strength in your own character. When setting up a business, there should be value, you know, added from the beginning. What do you want to do differently from other people? Why should I come to you? I will go through so many shops before I come to you. But I'll come to you because you have value to give me. So it's very important that you ensure that you give value. Give something that others are not giving. Do something that others are not giving, are not doing. And empathy is one of them. Don't think it's about, okay, if you buy one of this, I'll give you one of this. No, people don't care about that many times. Yeah, people like freebies, but they don't care about that many of the times. They just like people who know their name, who empathize with them when they bring their things, even when it is what they're asking for cannot be provided, they still go ahead and help them to get something done about the inquiry or the problem that they bring. It's very important. When you are setting up a business, it has to conform with the law too. Law of legitimacy, the law of morality, and the law of equity, and then the law of growth. When you are setting up a business, remember all of this. Don't just go into the business thinking about just profits. I must make money. It doesn't matter who cries. It doesn't matter who is happy. It doesn't matter whether this is doing anything negative to the country or not, to the country's economy or not. No, that's not right. We have to do things the way that it will be a win-win, whichever way. You make profit, that person gets value that you promise is very important. And then if you are importing anything that is not is banned, even that one is not right. Like at a point, rice was banned in this country, and people keep smuggling them in when there are rice farmers who have mastered the art of making the rice look like long grain and imported one from America. What are we looking for that we can't get in our local rice? So it's against the law of the land, and ethical business cannot work against the law of the land. Like importing chicken too at a point. Even the chicken will be taken from them and buried. They will go there and exhume it and still bring it for people to eat. And you know that that chicken has become poisoned. You still go ahead and bring it for people to eat. These are not only unethical, that's wicked practice. So when you even trade in what is acceptable in the law of the land, the way and how you do it is very, very important. The way you do it and the way you go about it and the things you put into it is very, very important. It matters a lot. For example, a petroleum station should not be located where there is an estate close by because of its volatility. Because if a petrol station goes into flames, everything around it will be consumed. So, and if an estate is there, that's very serious for human life. So, all these things are very important. And then the law of growth. If I am in a business and all I'm thinking of is the customer, the clients, which should be normal, I must take care of my business as well. I'm trying to balance it now. Don't think that it's all about, okay, they're saying do this, do that. What about us? We balance it. I must take care of my business, take care of myself in the process of satisfying customers. And how do you do that? The law of equity comes to play. For my patrons, maybe I have a product at hand and all of a sudden the price skyrockets and I have a lot of it in my store. Okay, the best thing I could do is probably look at how much is it selling in the market. How much will I get it from the manufacturer now? And then when I get it from the manufacturer, how much profit is expected on it? And then when I want to restock, how much do I need to restock? Because I won't advise anybody to sell their product at a giveaway price, only to go and buy at higher price. So naturally, you may sell at a little bit lower than other people, but then you won't sell it at the price at which you stock it, because there will come a time when you will stock it and the price will drop. So you make room like that, but whatever you promise, give it. Don't make room by cutting corners and selling used as new, or by selling less in scale. If you know how many places, uneven scale is mentioned in the Bible, you will have the fear of God. Because when you sell anything and you reduce the scale, maybe you are selling chicken, when you are weighing 10 kilo, already it's 8 kilo that you are giving them. When they get home and they weigh on their own very scale, you discover it's less than what you promised. So let's just look at all these things. We are not thinking, and then when a customer comes, a customer comes to you, and then maybe you see that these people are rich. These people are rich and they can afford more. It doesn't mean that because they can afford more, you now go ahead and sell at a very high price for them, a price that's almost double the price that you will give to another individual. But because you see that these ones are rich, then you make it very expensive. This is not acceptable too. It's the law of equity must come to play. What is good for the other person is good for this person too, whether rich or poor. This is very important. The law of morality has to do with what quality you give to your customers. Like I've been saying that for so long. You want to buy beans in the market and you say, I want ewa oloyin, the honey beans or the milk beans that cooks very fast. And then because the other one is cheaper, the seller goes ahead and mix the other one, maybe a low, and mix it with the honey one. And then you cook and cook and cook. And you see that one has become watery, the other one is not done because it's been mixed up. All these are very unethical. They are not supposed to be practiced. Whatever your price is, sell the product at your price instead of mixing things up and causing confusion and giving less value than you promised. You can't, because of gain, go and import substandard goods, except you can declare to the customer that this is the standard of this. Like wax in the market. You have the one that they write English wax, this wax, but definitely it is not the English wax that we used to know. The one that you will wear and it will not wear out. That's not the type. It's another type. But because that is the amount that you have, that is what your pockets can afford, you simply buy that one, even though you know it is not the original English. But that cannot happen with drugs. I have heard of people who have lost their relatives, their sisters, their brothers, their children because of fake drugs. Because somebody went to the market to buy something to cure diabetes, and it's fake. And blood sugar will keep going up. Somebody goes to the market to buy something for high blood pressure, and it's fake. The blood pressure will keep rising until that person probably have what do you call it? High blood pressure to the extent that they begin to have stroke. And then the one that has blood sugar might go into coma for all you care. And all these things are very ungodly, unacceptable. They should not be practiced. It should not be found among us. And I want to say that when you do your business, ethically, and your capital gain is not, beyond what it should be, I'm sure you would see that somehow God begin to open your eyes to see more opportunities that are attached even to that very business that you're doing. that others do not see. You know, like somebody who is a barber and decide to put popcorn machine in front of his shop, put a fridge inside, and probably later start doing some barbecue. Some people, some friends will come, like five. They want to barb their hair. When you are barbing one, the other one is eating barbecue, is drinking coke, and is probably eating popcorn. That's an addition that God can open your eyes to see. And then when you see these things, you discover that even those one, they become like, can take care of your rent, utility, and everything. And you discover that your core business become something that you can, the money from your core business become something that you can use for your capital projects. All these things are very, very important. Building sustainable business. How can we build a business that is sustainable, that can stand the test of time? Sustainability is not just about money. No, it is about structure, trust, and consistency. There must be some level of trust. Customers can trust you, even your workers can trust you. Like I want to tell you that those who left working with us to go and set up their own business, we find it very difficult to do sharp practices because they are not used to it and they don't know how to do it. And they are like, I may end up in police station. I'm not used to this. I don't know how to do this. And when you are practicing your business in an ethical manner, you are building a new crop of people that will carry it on and give it to the next generation. That's, look, you don't do it this way. This is the way it is done. So you are building a people too that will transform the nation. An ethical business builds customers' loyalty. When your business is done the way it should be done, truthfully, customers will be loyal to you. It retains good employees. Your employees too, they see you as this office is different. Everything here is different. How come? So they want to stay because they see that there is truth all around them. Then it attracts strong partnership. People talk about individuals who do their business in the right way. Like at a point, I know some people were reaching out to me and they were asking if I needed some laptops, they're as good as new, they'll give it to me, and they can even give me the wherewithal to do whatever I need to do and all of that. But I refused and they told me that, do you know you are the only person who has refused? Why are you refusing? I said, because I know my business and I know the way I do it. What you're telling me about is not the way I do my business. I have the way I do my own business. So it's very important to stand on something, or you fall for everything and anything. Stand on the ethics and the values that you have started the business with, that you have grown the business with. You can now begin to do other things because that would cause like a loss, because you build something. When you build your name and then you lose it, it's even more valuable than losing money. You have lost something very serious. So sustainable business are not built on hype. They are built on doing what is right. It's not about hype. It's not about making noise up and down. It's about doing what is right. And when you are doing what is right, don't think that people are not watching. They're watching and they're looking at you. I want to tell you today, ethical entrepreneurship is not the easy part. I must be sincere. It's, there is usually temptation here and there. But I tell you, if you do it right, you will know that you're doing it in a way that is pleasing unto your maker, that is pleasing unto your customers, pleasing unto your suppliers, pleasing unto your conscience too. And it will be a path that leads to good success, because there are different types of success. Good success. If there are not different type of success, the Bible will not talk about good success. It is the right path that leads to success. Your business is a reflection of your values. If you build with integrity, you will build something that lasts even unto generations to come. So whatever takeaway it is that you have from this presentation, I believe in the biblical principle of doing business. I just believe that you have to do it the way that is pleasing unto God. Because if you have problem and it is this same God that you will call, then you have to do it his own way. So that when you are in trouble, you can come in handy for you. I'm Adenike Shitu. Your business can be clear. Thank you.